We got to next lambing, and Izzy comes back from uni and says, "Where are the ewe lambs?" I said, "You said we didn't want to lamb ewe lambs." I did not. Saw that. The kids are needed. Everybody's needed in this industry. There's so much opportunity there. And for us, it's about creating opportunity for them all. You see when the hands go in the huddle and we shout Ross on 3. That's just. I've certainly struggled with that in the past and feeling a bit isolated that I had the weight of everyone else to look after.
And 3,
actually, no.
2. I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we're all
Fed by farmers.
Hello and welcome to the Fed by Farmers podcast with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
Aye, this chair is a bit squeaky.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but if I just stop moving, it won't squeak. Funny that.
Very true.
Funny that.
Yeah.
We are joined today by John and Fiona Scott from Fearn Farm. Big stars from This Farming Life, from the Shorthorn beef breed, which we don't talk about in this podcast, which I really wanted to talk about, and I just got.
Forget it.
Yeah. They do a bit of that. Big in the cattle scene, big on the grass-fed top sale scene. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just big on the scene.
Big on the scene. Big plans in the future scene as well.
Yes, and we're going to talk a bit about that later in this podcast. First, who do we need to thank, Iona?
Our sponsors. Crystalyx and Tracesure by Animax.
Crystalyx and Tracesure. I was hearing folk were struggling to get Tracesure boluses.
Really?
Yep. I says that, but just because I think they've been so popular.
Wow, that's great.
And I said it's all us.
Yeah, of course.
It is. Just make sure, guys, when you're buying them, you do mention us. Same with the Crystalyx, Some people have been. I do, to be fair, Graham, the marketing manager, does drop me a text saying, got this email in, it's good, it's good. He doesn't try and hide away. He's like,
yeah.
You guys are rubbish. Like, we need to cut the fee.
Yeah.
Like, no. Fee's going up. No, I'm only joking. We'll talk about it. So, thanks to both them for making this happen. It's fantastic. Iona, much to add before we get into this podcast. How are you?
I'm well.
Yeah.
I am well, yes.
Yeah, good. Christmas rush here at Sheep Game Fed HQ.
Oh yeah, because this one's going out tomorrow, isn't it? That's fine. Sorry,
Yeah,
I was that week when I was thinking
Monday.
this was
when's it going?
Was in the future. Yeah, Christmas madness.
Yeah, but you can still, if you get the order in before Friday at 1 p.m.
No, it needs to be posted on Friday.
Yeah, but if the order's in before 1 p.m, the
yes.
post is at 4 Is the post at 4 o'clock?
Yep.
Yeah, so as long as we have it by 1, to be fair, the girls are that good, as long as we have it by about 3:45, pushing it a wee bit. They are good though.
We'd get it.
Yeah, you'd get it. As long as we have it by about 3:45 on Friday. They have Fed gear available on the website, fedbyfarmers.co.uk, and of course you guys that are following the sheep game as well, that's all there too. I don't think there's much else to add before we get into it.
No, let's do it. Friday catch-up this week.
Yeah, we don't want to say too much here because we have the Friday catch-up coming not at the weekend, on Friday. That's weird,
we tend to do that, yeah.
And what a coincidence that the Friday catch-up goes out on a Friday.
That is weird.
Isn't it? It's mad how that happened.
Yeah.
Just fate, I suppose.
It was meant to be.
Anyway, enough nonsense. Here's John and Fiona. And we're here with John and Fiona Scott from Fearn Farm. Where have I heard of that place before?
Not sure.
Is that... Were you in the telly once?
Long time ago.
Long time ago. I did make a joke at the Farming Awards. You like to be introduced as, large scale sheep and beef farmer, John Scott. I remember listening to your Michael Blanche. We give Michael a shout out whenever we can. He's do you know what's becoming weird? We're here to talk about you guys, but we're straight away talking about me. It's a theme of this podcast, you'll have noticed. I says to Mike, I'm on his Patreon. He does a Patreon thing. And as part of it, he was always worried about not giving folk enough for their money type thing. And I says to him, you should do this weekly update thing. So he now does it and calls it Letter from Kilchucker. It's weirdly became my favourite podcast, and it's just Michael Blanche wandering about talking nonsense.
So what is it?
He just walks about talking. Oh, he's a farmer.
Yeah. No, I know. But what is a letter from?
It's just him wandering around his farm. Like, he did it. Was it the rugby? Or he was at the rugby at the weekend. And he came home and he did it at like midnight out on the farm after a few beers.
Midnight.
He's a great guy, Michael, but I can't get on the Patreon.
Oh, you can't?
I'm blocked for some reason.
It's all the nasty comments.
I don't know why, but I'm blocked. So Michael, if you're listening, can you let me in, please?
Yes. So he's a good lad. So there we go. There's Michael, get shit out straight away. But that's, obviously saw you in This Farming Life. And then that's when I really got a better idea of you, was from this podcast that you did with Michael, because you were his very first podcast. So tell us a bit about Fearn Farm and how it all works.
Yeah, well, family farming partnership. We've been there for quite a long time. Fiona and I met many moons ago, and we've run the business. So sometimes, people think maybe I'm the farmer, but it's a very much a team effort. So we run the farm. Mum and Dad are still involved. Dad's out every day, which is great. And we've got the next generation now starting to get involved in various different ways, which is really good for us. It's real fun to have them there, isn't it?
Yeah, team effort. Yeah, we're 40 miles north of Inverness.
Very north.
Very north. Well, no, not really. I'm from further north. I'm from Caithness, so
okay.
There's more beyond.
do you know Helga Sinclair? She was a sheep shearer.
Yes.
She's still, yes. You'll know her fat to finish beef cattle and that. I've been there one time randomly to pick up a trailer for the Viking. I think he bought one off. But yeah, whenever I think of Caithness, I always think of Helga, because I'm sure she's from up that way.
Yeah.
And how did you two meet?
The original dating agency, Young Farmers.
Yeah.
Of course.
It was a welly boot throwing competition.
Was it?
And Fiona was taking part. She threw the welly boot, and it went nowhere near where it was meant to go, but it landed at my feet. And I picked it up and gave it back to her, and there was a spark.
It's basically a Cinderella story.
Farming Cinderella.
With a bit of alcohol later on.
Yeah.
Is that right? What age were you then?
18.
You were 18, I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What was his welly throwing like?
Not as good as mine.
No.
Obviously.
You had the right aim.
I won a bottle of whiskey with the next throw, though.
Oh, you did. Yeah.
And but you was on different Young Farmers then, if you're that distance apart.
Yeah, rivals.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I was in Hullkirk.
I was mid-Ross, and we did have a fair bit of rivalry then. It was good.
So it's
healthy
like
rivalry.
Fox and a hound.
Yeah.
What one's the fox? I think it's obvious.
I think so.
And who had the most acres and most sheds at that time?
John, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
But he had a really weird mixture of sheep. It was like Heinz 57. I came from Border Leicesters and Cheviots, and then came down and was like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? There was a bit of this and a bit of that, and speckled faces, and yeah.
We've tried a lot of different breeds.
Aye. Buy what you can afford.
Aye, in the high 20s, different breeds over the years. But we have settled down now, and it's a bit more focused.
Yeah. You're great from grass now.
Yeah, so we've got Texels, our own Texels, sort of an easy lambing style maternal Texel. We've got Suffolks, which are quite a lot of New Zealand blood in them. Some Beltics, Aberfields. We work with Innovis on them, and we've got some Romneys as well. So yeah, and then the crossbred ewes would be a mixture between Romney, Aberfield, and our own Texel.
And you just flipping back and forth, like adding a bit. If they lose a bit of one trait, just throw it back in.
If they're starting to look too much Romney, we'll flick something else in. And we do find the Aberfield and the Romney clicks well, and we put a bit of Texel in. And it just mixed age ewes, trying to aim for that 190 plus lambing percentage, scanning percentage, and then the Gimmers a little bit less, but really trying to get them doing it outside themselves and not too much intervention. That's the plan.
Yeah. And how's it going?
Yeah, good. On a good year when the weather's decent, it can be pretty good. Usual challenges with predators like a lot of people have, and we can get a real blast from the east in the spring.
Yeah.
But not too bad. We've put a lot of hedges in at home over the years, and that's given us more shelter. And some of the other farms we look after now, we've got quite a lot of shelter, so they're quite good to lamb at.
We're quite an exposed area up there, is it? Is that partly because a lot of arable land, with a lot of stuff been ripped out over the years to, back after the war and all that to produce food?
That peninsula we're on, the Easter Ross Peninsula, it is quite exposed. The North Sea come flying in, wind will fly in off the sea there. And some of the farms there, a lot of arable, big fields. And we've probably gone back the way a little bit, or forward, depends where you look at it. We put a lot of hedges in and split fields up, and a lot of rotational grazing. So, trying to balance profitable farming with looking after the environment at the same time, which is what we're all aiming for now.
I have a thought on the whole create from grass, Innovis, all these guys doing these good hybrid breeds and productive sheep, ex-Lanner to an extent as well with Tim and the things they do there and see what your thoughts on it is. Is the fantastic lamb price as it is just now detrimental to your business model?
I don't think so, no.
No,
I don't think.
So my thinking of that is actually, you could the way things actually pays to feed a big ewe and have big lambs and be more intensive, if we call it that way, because lamb is so strong.
I think with our less...
If lamb margins, like if we take New Zealand, who follow your model quite a bit, I suppose it came from New Zealand, the kind of idea. like their margins are very tight.
They are. I think labour is getting harder and harder to find. So lower input sheep are going to be, for us, the way ahead. We can't keep the numbers we've got with really a high intensive feeding regime or traditional style regime. But it's very much what works for you. And if you've got a system that works for you and it involves feeding a lot of cake, well, crack on. If you're making good money, you know, I don't understand some of the other breeds and how they work, some of the breeds with horns and how that all works. But if it's working for you and it's a good business model, good on you.
Yeah. It's John makes it look really easy. Like her dad makes it look really easy. You just what's to think about? You just sell 5-figure tups every year, and it's how can it not make money?
It's just great.
So you run this great. From how many sheep are you running? Did you say that?
We're just under 3,000 ewes at the moment, which is a lot less than we used to have, which is great. And we're just trying to find what's optimum for us as a family, as a business, as the land, what it can carry. And I think that we're around about there just now. We probably could go up a little bit. We've talked before about you and I about putting ewe numbers up a little bit and just clearing the decks when the store trade's good. And there's a lot to be said for that, to making that autumn spell a bit easier. I think as farmers we're quite often guilty of working too hard or working really hard and expecting ourselves to keep going. Yeah. And I think you've got to try and look at the business and work out periods in the year where you can just be more efficient in terms of looking after yourself. You can spend a lot of time chasing store lambs. And if the trade's good, well, let's fill the lorries and get them south.
Yeah, and the weather plays a massive part. Like we've had, nice springs where it's been easy and everyone's, the whole thing's flying, and then you get a nasty spring or you get a problem in a shed and everyone's heads go down and it's just hard going. And after, was it lambing 2 years ago, when we knew James wasn't going to be here for the next lambing, maybe 3 years ago, the kids had said, like, we always try and have a dust down at the end of lambing time. And it was like, right, what are we going to change? What are we going to cut out? And it was like, right, reduce the numbers. We're not lambing ewe lambs that next year. We make, you're smiling. We make all these, like, write it down. This is what we're going to do.
Because the kids at that stage, James and Izzy said, look, we can't do what you're doing. So we did change things a little bit, and we're smiling at ewe lambs there because James wasn't there the next year. He was in New Zealand. He's just come back there for a few months just now. We got to next lambing, and Izzy comes back from uni and says, "Where are the ewe lambs?" I said, "You said we didn't want to lamb ewe lambs." I did not.
Too late now. I was all big talk. We have 340 ewe lambs or something like that, and I was all big talk. Going to tup them all this year. Tup them with a wee. I got one off. Graham Lofthouse, a kind of easy care type thing. I thought we'll tup them with this and with a few other wee mongrel things we were going to tup them with. And then the prices started going good, and I thought, do you know what, we'll maybe not tup as many, because this could be a good year to have a few that we can cash in type thing. So I think now we're only tupping about 140 of them, and that'll leave us 200 to either we keep them as gimmers, or if the trade keeps going. I mean, it's good that most of them are on winter and it will run till April, and you saw what happened last April, so if it goes the same, they will definitely be going.
It really has tidied up people's sheep flocks last year. I went in and took the bottom end off our ewe lambs. James went in and took another cat, and I went back and took another cat. The trade was that good. And then we get to tapping time. We haven't got quite as many as we thought we should have here. but it does make you tidy your flock up because the trade's so good, and a cow ewes or a ewe has to look at it the wrong way and she's down the road just to tighten it all up. We are tapping ewe lambs again this year. And we've put some Romney tups out with them. Hopefully that'll work okay. But I think you've mentioned Shetland before. They are good in ewe lambs. Yeah,
there's a few of the big guys doing similar things to yourself. Have used Shetlands. Maybe I never still do use Shetlands, do they? Or they did.
Yeah.
Use Shetlands across just to get a lamb. It's a bonus.
Yep.
And it's easy reared. It's not so on the hog. There is lots of merits, and rather than waiting that whole 18 months, 2 years. Well, it's 2 years you wait to get a lamb out your gimmer, really. Then get it producing now,
and they're far better. For some reason, I don't understand the science behind it, but ewe lambs are quite often much better mothers than gimmers.
Really?
I totally agree. And it's almost like it's not quite an old wives' tale, but it's a thing I've been hearing my whole life. My dad, they can be a great wee. You still get Summerstone mad, but a great wee mother. A hog's a great wee mother. And I wonder if part of it, and I've spoke at this before, is that actually you're kicking off the natural cycle by making her wait 2 years.
Yeah, it's hormonal.
She's like naturally meant to lamb then. So you're kicking it down the line. You're almost missing a chance at being at that motherly instincts, and then that's why they're stone bloody mad as gimmers, and they're bigger and stronger and harder to wrestle and all the other problems that come with them. I was going to top them all, but now we've only topped.
Yeah, chicken.
Well, I just think we're going to be at 180 quid soon, like last back end. They're all white faced, crossbred type lambs. Like they're. Stop it. I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Crystalyx Extra High Energy Feed Blocks have been providing high energy supplementation to ewes, lambs and rams in the UK since 1978. Packed full of protein, vitamins, minerals and trace elements, Crystalyx Extra High Energy has been proven to increase live lamb numbers and improve lamb daily live weight gain at a cost of only 4 to 7 pence per ewe per day. To view the full Crystalyx range and find your nearest stockist, visit crystalyx-global.com.
And what age are the children?
James is 23, Izzy's 21, Lexi's 19 today, and Archie will be 17 in January.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice even spread.
Yeah, it wasn't as it was planned. We hoped to have them all like 18 months apart, bang, bang, bang. But it didn't work like that. Yeah. So, they're all around about 2 years apart. So, it's worked out well.
No, they're good fun. They're good kids. They're all involved in different ways. And Archie's left school recently. They're having 6-8 months ago, didn't know what he wanted to do. And he's actually left. He's going to do a level 3 apprenticeship with us for a year and then go off and further his studies, which is, it's great to see. I think it's a bit for us, I suppose I was quite lucky. I was given we came back from New Zealand, we travelled when he was younger, and Dad let us take over quite quickly. His father had done similar, and he'd stepped back, and Dad been able to kick on and run the business. And I think for us, we like to give kids and people working for us, young people work for us, plenty of responsibility and let them get going, let them get in. Really frustrates me when I hear farmers talking about getting their kids to go away to do something else. Oh, they better get something else as a backup plan.
Almost as if farming is going to fail.
Saw that. But kids are needed. Everybody's needed in this industry. There's so much opportunity there. And for us, it's about creating opportunity for them all. Hopefully, if they want to get involved, great. If they don't, they can go do something else. And we'll maybe try and help them. But from a business point of view and a succession or transition point of view, we're very much thinking about that. And that's one of the key things we've been looking at with this agri-tourism monitor farm we've got at the moment for Highlands and Islands, where we're the farmers, and we've been sitting down looking at how do we bring the kids into the business, speaking to the lawyers, speaking to the accountants. Of course, with the budget, that's brought it even more to the fore. But want to get them involved if they can. If they don't, that's fine.
I was going to say, just sort of in that budget thing, I think you're probably, no, but I have had people in since that, but you're probably the best example of one of the larger businesses that have got to worry about this. Now, you'll have been doing your sums and doing your... Do you, currently as it is just now, because you're saying mother and father's still in the business, do you own the land as it is just now?
Yeah, mum and dad still have about 20%.
So you're well forward with that issue.
And we're well on with that.
It's the next generation.
Just about to, at the moment, James is, he's off to New Zealand again for a wee while, but he's committed now and makes all the breeding decisions on the livestock side of things. He is committed, so I'd imagine be transitioning some land to him, passing some on from mum and dad pretty quickly to him now. But we are listening to our advisors, and they'll sit down and make a plan. And when the detail comes out in the new year with everything, we'll make a plan there. And we do need to think about ourselves as well. But we don't want to hand to the kids before they're committed to the business, because if they're not committed to the business, they're not getting a share of the business.
Are you quite strict that way? Like, if you're not at a farm, then you don't get a cut of this?
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree.
And we'll try and help. And our view has probably changed quite a lot. And my view has really modernised, because my view was that
I think at one stage he says that he seems like an old. No,
I've changed, because at one stage there it was very much as they did with me, mum and dad, because they'd seen other family farms and people's farms be split up and being left 3 ways, and I was left the farm, and my sister's got a bit of help from other investments, and that was my approach. James was keen, that's fine. Oldest son, he can take the farm, and then which is really bad. And then COVID kicked in, and Izzy was in 50 year, didn't do any exams, came back, stuck in the lambing shed, started taking control of Lammy shed, and I just had a word with myself. Thought, I've got to change my thinking of this altogether, and we did. We talked about it quite a lot, and that's when we swung round to just creating as much opportunity, trying to keep scale in the business. If they want to get involved, great. If they don't, that's fine. But we don't want to. We just want to keep pushing on. Yeah,
it's doing what we want to do at the moment, and not making them feel pressurized to do things the way that we've done it. Like, you know, we've had this conversation with James and Izzy. But if any of them or all of them come home, like, it's up to them how they deal with it. That will be their time. This is our time just now, and we're doing what we want to do. But they're. I think when James and Izzy went off, the younger two got a chance to really sort of almost have a go. It was almost like they could see that there was a space that they could start bouncing around in. And, you know, Lexi probably wouldn't have been that interested in the farm. She's this comment when she was a little girl, which stayed with her for years. Somebody had asked her about coming outside, and she went, "I'm not really an outside kind of girl." Love it. But now she's in Edinburgh doing marketing at Heriot Watt, and she has joined the Agrix. And she's found her crowd, and she gets on brilliantly with them all. And she's very involved with the marketing side of things and social media side of things with us at home when she's about. And Archie as well. Yeah, he was more sports, but tractors are his thing. Whereas, like, I mean,
somebody's got to drive them.
Well, the rest of the family are mechanically challenged. So
same here.
Yep.
I would. Well, I'm not going to question genetics on this, am I? But something's happened. But throwback.
An old gene somewhere. Yeah. But it's another handy element to business. Like, it's great if they all wanted to drive tractors, then you'd have an issue. Whereas if you've got somebody in the livestock, or two in the livestock, as it sounds like, and someone else in the tractor side, it'll be Fearn Farm Contracting next. That's the next. You're always pushing forward.
Don't encourage them.
That'll be our next. You've got a good base at home to build a business of contracting up in the northeast of Scotland.
Well, speaking of contracting, their contractors came from Ayrshire, the Wilsons.
Is that right?
Yep. Alan Alison Wilson moved up with a young family, and Alan sadly is no longer with us, but Stuart is running things there now and making a really good job. And they were contractors for us for over 40 years, I think now.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. And Alan and Alison moved up, and they bought a small farm up near us, and had a couple of really tough years, and decided to downscale his machinery, and we sold our machinery to Alan, and he started up contracting.
There you go.
So
yeah. Good on it.
No relation?
No, I don't. Someone else asked me about. No, it's one of those things like Wilson, Brown, Smith, Kerr. They're all very common farming names. Maybe it's Scott. Is there many Scots? It's a very Scottish name. I'd take it.
We came from the Borders.
Did you?
We went to the Borders as a family when we were going up there when the clearances. We went up to look after sheep, so we probably weren't most popular. But
no, you'd be an English favoured clan. Yeah, okay. They sent the Scots. Is there a clan Scott, or what clan do you fall under?
Yeah,
Scott.
Because there isn't a clan Wilson. The Wilsons were part of the gun clan.
Caithness.
That's Caithness.
That could be right. I have looked into it once before, but so we were the gun clan originally.
You've got a Viking Nordic look about you.
It's the height, isn't it? It's the fact I can't grow a beard that just throws you off. It's not very Viking. Back onto business and the inheritance tax thing, just briefly, I was saying, obviously, you're talking about waiting for this settled and wanting to farm, but my concern with what you're talking about there and passing land on to James is, never mind being settled with a farm, what about being settled with a lady?
James has gone to New Zealand with his girlfriend, yeah.
No, but he's 23.
Yep.
I'll get married at 23. I've been divorced. And it's a dangerous thing if somebody owns £1 million in land and they get divorced. It's a quick way to break up your farm. Not that I'm trying to stop, James. Sorry, mate. I'm not trying to stop you getting your land. And I'm not suggesting for a second you would ever get split up. But things happen that you can't foresee. And like that, and for people wondering why, and we hear this in the media all the time and all these negative comments on social media, just gift it to your son, gift it to your daughter. That's all well and good. But like, there's so many divorces these days. It probably, especially in farming these days, it's not like, farming's a miserable life quite often for the other partner because
1 in 2 marriages
in farming
just
across the board
is divorce.
Well, there you go. So 1 in 2 farming, it could easily be that as well. Although I'd say we're still a bit more traditional, depending on how you marry. So that's got to be a real worry because it's an easy way. I always think maybe I'm being cynical. It's much easier to ask for a divorce if you're going to be a millionaire after it. Cynical. I'm just saying, would that not be a fair comment?
Yeah, maybe.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? How often do you see big celebrities, like, they get married for a couple of years and it's a divorce?
Yeah.
It's like, he or she walks away with millions.
I think it's cynical.
Maybe, but I think it could be accurate.
It is a worry, but, you know, you bring your kids up as best you can. You hope they choose
But
well.
it's not your kid you need to worry about.
No, but you hope they choose well. And you have to, well, what measures can you put in place to protect the business? I suppose don't leave them too much too early.
Well,
but you know, if there's 4 of them and they're all getting a bit, it's slightly less risk. But you know,
I was
in the next 5-10 years, you know, we want to be getting them involved in the business, and that doesn't just mean working in the business like it does for a lot of people. We've got to sit down and discuss it as a family and how we're going to deal with any scenarios that might arise, and get some good solid legal advice with that, I suppose.
Prenuptials, just do it.
Do people do that?
It sounds very American, but Graham Bryson that was in said you can do it.
I think there's been a lot of chat about it the last few months, last few weeks.
And they're not foolproof either, you know.
No,
it can
we've
be
seen it before being
contested as
contested.
well.
Can they?
Yeah. Because what happens is, God, I'm being so cynical here. What I think examples of it are is you do a prenuptial about the business, but then the partner comes into the fold and actually grows the whole business. And their argument is that the difference in valuation from the marriage to now is actually off their back. So the prenuptial, let's say, of what the value was when you got married is fair enough, that's in that, but actually the extra double in value was a share of that, and it becomes so messy.
I'm trying to think of whether we had any discussions with Mum and Dad when you got involved.
You were a partner in the business.
Yeah. I think the land was
You guys maybe had discussions, but I certainly wasn't
you-
party to it.
Did you own part of the land though? Because it's interesting in the intricacies of that, being partner in a business, but actually who has the deeds?
I was pretty early on getting land.
Were you?
Yeah, I think so. And certainly I was a partner at 17, I think, but that was from a tax point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was brought in quite sharp.
But I like your positive attitude to getting the kids involved.
Me too.
And what you're saying there, like we're all about that. Like I just think, I think I keep saying it, although I keep getting knocked back by what's happening with the government and stuff like that. But I do think farming's good. Do I still think this? I don't know. I've said it many times. I think farming's going to have its day in the sun again.
I think it will.
It just seems like the horizon's getting a wee bit further away rather than getting closer.
But then you have to remember that can easily change with another government. Although I don't think this is going to be something that reverses very easily. But
No.
Will farms become bigger? Will there be less folk? Or will there be, you know, what's our own budget, what's the Scottish budget going to be like next week?
There's always opportunity in farming.
Yeah.
And there's always adversity. We know that. So it's just trying to get yourself prepared. Focus, well, we talk often about focusing on within the farm gate and things we can control. We can control sitting down, you know, early next summer. We've talked to the lawyer and accountant already. We want a full team meeting with all 3 generations involved in the business, sitting down around the kitchen table, discussing what we're doing. We can control that. Mm-hmm. We can plan that. We can look at scenarios. We can upskill our team, making sure they get the best training and be ready for going forward. We do a bit of contract farming. We might do more of that. That's less risk there for us in some ways. Let's just look at the positives and see what we can do. That government's not going to. They're going to get a rush. They're not going to be there for that long, and they're going to have to change their tune, I think. I just think that there's been such a backlash against what they're doing. Probably not best to get me started on politics.
No, I love it.
Don't get him started.
I was at Holyrood yesterday for the demonstration, and it was a good turnout. It was a good turnout, good speakers. Martin Kennedy, so I'm a big Martin Kennedy fan. He's always a good speaker. You know, he doesn't need pen and paper, right? He just stands there and he can speak from the heart, and
He'll be very hard to replace. Yeah. And when and when are you going to start your political career?
Well, we sometimes joke about this as well, but I honestly, I think a lot of folk are amazed, maybe not now because I'm listening to podcasts, but like all I listen to, you can ask Tina who came to the Welsh Winter
She's
Fair.
told me.
Has she told? We did like 8 hours down, 11 hours back. The whole way is political podcasts, a bit of Michael Blanche in the middle, and it's like political podcasts, news podcasts. Although I don't like news podcasts, too biased, but I like 2 random people talking about things that don't work for a corporation as such, because I just feel you get a more
genuine.
Yeah, and this one I'm going to give a shout out for Political Currency with George Osborne and Ed Balls. Miles better than the rest is politics now.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've got a 5-hour trip home, so that'll be what we'll be.
Political Currency. They've got a wee bit of humour. They can disagree. They're not massively left. Like the rest is politics is so left. Like the whole way through, it's Donald Trump can't win. He's this. He's that. He's that. It's like there's no. I think Rory Stewart said he bet $100,000 that he wouldn't win, and all that's just absolute nonsense. Saying everything the Democrats are doing is brilliant. Then after it, they're like, oh well, maybe they did this wrong and that wrong. It's like they were just so left the whole time they couldn't see what the people really think. But anyway, I said don't start with politics, and we're getting going. But yeah, I honestly think, I think now is the time that somebody could unseat Labour and the Tories, and it's not reform. It's not reform. It's not Nigel Farage.
What was it? What's the country in Europe that got a farming party?
Yeah, but that's a bad example because, and that's been mentioned, they are now polling worse than the cat and dog party because they had a massive surge under one issue.
Yeah.
But you need more than that. You need to be like, you can't be the farming party.
A half decent Lib Dem, they should be flying now. This is their time.
They would probably argue they are flying. I mean, Ed Davies is running a good campaign. He's doing. I loved his campaign was genius. Do something different. He was paddleboarding and jumping out what was he doing? Bungee jumping and all sorts of abseiling, all sorts of crazy stuff. And his whole thing was do something different. Oh no, do something you've never done before. Vote Lib Dems. I don't know enough about their policies, if I'm honest.
Everything's just so extreme, isn't it?
It is.
It's one extreme or the other. There doesn't seem to be a sensible middle ground.
Absolutely.
And people are so sort of knee-jerk reactions to what they see on,
Instant society.
Yeah, TikTok and social media and
All these influencers.
We better go off politics. We're upsetting the Democrats. But that's my only... Talk about the inheritance tax thing. I thought you were the first people to come in. How much land do you actually own?
1150 acres.
1150 acres.
Yep.
So that you're somewhere in the region of 7 million or something like that all in. Plus all the property in that. So yeah, you have got to worry.
Yeah, we've got good life insurance policies.
Have you got a whole of life? I was speaking to someone dealing with NFU about a whole of life policy. Is yours a whole of life or is it like a 65 and then you stop or 70 and stop?
Whole of life, I think, isn't it?
whole of life.
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
Well, we've had it for a while, so it's not...
Could be a whole of life in...
We had it in place to clear debt.
Okay.
Which is, well, ideally that was still a plan.
Well, if it's that big, it probably is the whole of life one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've always had a bit of debt in the business. Always just keep getting a bit more as we do things.
Debt's good, is it not?
Debt is good.
It also helps with your inheritance because they can
Yeah.
put the debt against the assets.
That'll help a little bit.
A little bit.
And what else makes you money? What else do you do for £1 apart from farming?
It's mostly farming or farming related. We've got holiday cottages. We have just bought a pub. Pub stroke hotel that needs a lot of TLC to get it sorted out.
It's a dump.
Do you know who he wants to be? Do you know who he wants to be?
No, we bought it before.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh.
What you called it, the farmer's Doug?
Well, yeah.
No.
This is the commercial. The commercial in Ballantor.
The com.
The commercial. The com.
The com.
Yeah, you told me this one. It was is it the only pub in the village or?
There's two, but it sits on the harbour and it's a really nice spot. But it's very, very run down. And we're in the process of getting the plans drawn up. We'll start sorting things out very soon. Next couple of weeks we'll make a start.
So exciting.
And it's going to have our own beef and lamb in there, and obviously fish straight out of the sea. We've teamed up with a local restaurant owner who knows what she's doing.
Yep.
Because we don't.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
think
it's something different. It'll give the kids another option to get involved. At the moment, 2 want to spend time on one side of the bar, and 2 on the other side of the bar. So yeah, it's and we've done a bit of building. Built a couple of houses in our time, and we sort of know how that works. And Fiona's pretty good in the interior design side of things, and I'm not. So
Who's going to be left to run the pub? Is it this restaurant woman, or are you taking quite a hands-on with that, Fiona?
She's got 2 business. Well, she's got 2 restaurants already, where she has got really good teams set up. So the plan is
she's stepped away from it a wee bit.
Yeah, she has. She's also a counsellor, so she's a very busy lady, very able lady. So the plan is that we'd have a team in there. But yeah, I would imagine we will all be involved in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, it's really exciting. It is an amazing spot.
It's such a change from farming.
Well, it isn't. It isn't. Like, do you know, at the end of the day, we're producing food. That is our ultimate goal.
You're just cutting out the middleman now.
Yeah.
And for us, it's being involved in helping manage a team of people, which is what we try and do on the farm, and try and create the right culture, so that people enjoy working there and learn and be part of, and give the locals in the area an opportunity to get involved in a series of 3 villages that have, had their challenges over the years, and this could just give them a real lift.
So hopefully get the whole village behind you, local owners.
There was really positive feedback when we announced on social media what we were doing. That was really satisfying. It was really encouraging for us that there was a demand there for us to do something with the building, and our bread and butter will be our locals. We want people obviously to visit the area. There will be some rooms in the hotel as well, but bread and butter is the locals. Yeah.
And has it been shut for a while?
Yes. And the chap that was in it was a bit of a hoarder.
Okay.
And there were maybe some extra visitors when it was shut. Four-legged kind. It's
a full rip-out job.
Yes. It is incredible the amount of stuff that's come out of it already, and we haven't really started stripping the walls back yet.
Okay.
But the council will be right behind you too, surely, with any planning or anything. They'll be delighted to see it getting...
Yeah, building control came out for a look and just get it sorted.
Yeah.
This isn't good, but
it's that bad, is it?
We'll work with you. We'll work with you. And really good. I'll just look forward to try and bring the journey to life too, and show people where we're starting and where we're going, and
get it on the socials.
Yeah.
You do that. You do the holiday cottages as well. Is there a good pound in that?
Yeah, it's taken a few years to get there.
You're very high end, eh? It's a very fancy.
It's 4-star.
Yeah.
It's not posh. We haven't gone.
In Kilmarnock here, remember? It was different.
It is. It's really nice. It's really nicely done.
I've totally forgot. I think I follow it on Instagram or something.
So it's the mill at Fearn Farm.
That's right.
And so it's got it's a big house. On one side it sleeps 10 people, and on the other side it sleeps 4. There's interlocking double doors in the middle, so you can hire the whole thing and open it all up. So you can have, if you're with a big family group and Granny and Grandad want to end up in one end away from everybody else, they can do that and shut the door on everyone else.
And do you get many big family
Yeah,
units?
we do. And actually after lockdown we had quite a few groups of friends coming together. We don't have a hot tub, so we've stayed away from that.
Should you have a hot tub?
I don't think so. The price of electricity, we're being environmentally friendly here. Potentially, it might attract some people, but I don't think...
You need a big one as well.
Oh,
you
need a huge one. And where the hot tub, where you would put it would be looking out towards our end of the house, and I don't really want to see anybody in a hot tub out the window. So John might, but I don't.
I don't know if John heard Beach's story.
Yes.
A hot tub out the back. Heaven forbid. No. I've heard the regulations on it. I've heard they're absolutely shocking. Where you have to check the pH
every day, and it just sounds like a whole heap more hassle than what we need. So,
and if you've got demand right now.
Yeah, we do a bit of overflow for the local distillery, have a hotel as well. So we do a wee bit of overflow for them and their team. And it's good. It's taken that sort of 3-4 years to get where it is now. And it feels like it's really hitting its stride now. It's good.
Yeah. And that led us to be involved in the Scottish agri-tourism scene, which is really pretty cool.
Is it still is it Miller? It's terrible, forgotten name.
Caroline
Miller, yes. That's Jim Smith's sister.
Yes, formidable family, very able. We have a standing joke that when you've been asked to do something by Caroline, you've been millered.
Right, okay.
Doesn't really ask you just get that phone call and
and
if it's within a week of the conference and the phone goes as it did for me, you have to speak for your supper, so you're roped in. But and
what's the agri-tourism thing?
So it's a really positive group of people so agri-tourism is a tourism or a food offering on farm.
Yeah.
So it's either a day out, or it's farm shop, or it's accommodation, food or fibre on a working farm, croft or estate. And we're the only, there doesn't seem to be the same thing happening in England. There seems to be far more of a group that is dedicated to lobbying for the group as well. Very strong links with Scottish Government and with Visit Scotland. Yes,
and international links as well. We have an annual conference, and we had that last week, and we had people from India there, and people from New Zealand, and we've got the World Conference in 2026. And we had to go, which was tough after the Rugby World Cup. Fiona and I went out for a week, and we joined a small group on a learning journey in Tuscany. So it was it was hard. We had to go around and just look at the food and drink.
The sacrifices you make.
Yeah,
it's tough.
And
It's tough.
and came back, and I came back from we came back from there. It was a wonderful trip. Great sunshine, great crack, great company, some really good food and wine. But all they're doing is telling a story, and our story is in Scotland is every bit as strong and powerful. So we came back inspired, and I suppose that led to from one thing to another. We've ended up having a pub, and there's so many, not just our beef and lamb, but other people producing good products up with us. That's going to be what we do. But telling the story, and you tell the story a lot, Cammy Iona, but we can do that as farmers. We'll be farmers out there and crofters that can actually get out there and tell the story and add value to the business quite easily by engaging with people who want that unique experience by coming onto a farm or a croft to find out about
How their food's
Jimmy
produced.
McLean, who's been there for 10 generations and has taken over from his father and his grandfather, and people love that one-to-one chat.
Yeah. Gareth Wyn-Jones does a really popular one. I think it's Rick Steen's tours, like European tours or something. And Rhiannon, his wife, was speaking to her down at the Welsh Winter Fair, and I think they do 2 a week for most of the summer, and do the full tour of the Welsh mountains. They shear a sheep. They put on some home-reared lamb for the people. They show them wool. I think they have some wee gifts and stuff they made from the Welsh mountain wool. And it's that whole story of, he's 7, 8 generations or whatever he is on that mountain. The Carnathai ponies they have there too, and it just makes for a spectacular, like you say, this story. Especially, it seems to be Americans especially absolutely love it, like the story of it.
And what we see every day, we totally take for granted. But for us, our everyday, for our punters, for our customers, it's phenomenal. It's amazing. They just love it. Coming into a lambing shed or being cooked a meal in the kitchen. Yeah, it's just mind-blowing. It's a really great experience that customers love. They want to they want to have a connection with the farmer and with where the foods come from.
Yeah. But you don't actually do tours just now though, or anything like that, do you?
Just dabbling in it, and I think it's something we've tried on different scales the last couple of years, and I think probably offering that high-end experience for 2 to 6 people is where we're heading. Working with some of the tour companies and the local distilleries, the higher end hotels. That's where we're going to end up. I think when you can charge a little bit more and give them that bespoke experience.
Yeah.
We've always done like bus tours with farmers or vets and things over the years. We've always had that. We've had shorthorn breeders and all sorts of things over the years. But I think but that's never been a moneymaker. That's just it's just something we've done.
Yeah, share your knowledge, because you've got other tours, and it's
you kind of hope you'll sell them a bull or a few tips or something. But it's not like hard cash.
It's nice. No. It's nice to show, because you've got a good outfit there, so it's nice to make sure folk can see it too. It's nice to show them around when you've got such a special place and such a good big outfit. It is nice to show folk, of course it is.
And when you get a really able group, a really switched on group, and they come and they
share
really
ideas and
interrogate you. We had the Caras group, which was a lot of people that done a lot. You recognise in agriculture, and you become a member of Caras and an associate, and then a fellow of Caras. And I remember we had it last summer, and there was some really good questions from various people there. And it made you think.
Because you had farming, or people involved in farming, but all different industries. So not just, or all different legs of the industry. So there'd be like chicken farmers, pig farmers, dairy. So yeah, they're coming to us, but a lot of it's not applicable to their business. But
I remember John Campbell. It was last summer. John Campbell gave me a grilling and standing in the field, and I thought I was delighted because John's been a real encouragement to me over the years with Nuffield and things, and he was up there and at a good old age there, giving me a good grilling about what I was up to, and it was pretty cool.
He knows he knew how to grow a business, that's for sure.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And you're not all the talk these days. All the talk seems to be about eggs. Have you ever thought about putting some hen sheds up?
No, I haven't really. We've got a friend along the road who's got them. But yeah, no, we haven't.
Just no interest in it at all.
Just haven't really.
Enough going on.
We always had hens ourselves, and James was mad keen on hens when he was wee. We had some issues with pine martins.
Okay.
Wiped them out a couple of times.
Traumatising.
It is. Yeah, it's awful.
I was back to this Farmer Life days. That's what James was up to. He was chasing his chickens.
What year was that?
Well, the dog trials were in.
Must be about 10 or 12 years ago.
Is that long ago?
Yeah. Was it 20?
You
no,
must have
it
been
was
one of the
10.
first seasons then.
It was
10 years ago.
yeah,
It was the first
first
season.
season.
Yeah.
Were you in the same one as Sandy Granville?
Yep.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
So that
And
would
Martin
that
and
could
Mel
easily be 12.
and Sybil and George.
Martin,
and
that's right, Sybil.
We
Yep.
should put some clips in.
and
From
Yeah,
on
we'll see.
YouTube.
Yeah,
And
with
the-
John.
and the Lennoxes,
looked like all
Flumond.
those years
That's right.
ago.
Bobby and Anne. Yeah.
That's right, Lennox. Yeah. They're on a booming agri-tourism business as well. Lennox
Yeah.
of Loch Lomond. They're doing fantastic
that
things. I keep meaning to go up and see them actually. We'll get them on the
It
podcast.
was a great experience. It was really good to do. But it was a bit surreal afterwards. We went to the Highland Show for the first year. I remember we were all at a function, all the families, and we walked round from one side of the show to the other side of the show, and it was weird.
Because people knew
Because
you and were
Yeah.
talking,
There they are.
I remember going to Balmoral Show and kids coming up to asking you for your autograph. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That didn't last long.
Cammy. No, exactly. Yeah. But I would say like this farming life is such a big cult thing in farming. Like you'll be recognised forever now. Like you know.
I don't know, we've changed a bit.
You haven't, not at all. But you must like there must still always be that kind of second glance, like because then maybe I'm gonna stand by it. Yeah, it's such a big deal. Like I remember every single person that's been on this farming life.
The kids were quite funny because it could have gone one of two. Well, it could have gone either way for them. But yeah, they got quite a bit of ribbing, I think, in school.
Yeah.
And quite often the teachers, and then it kept being reshown. Like they obviously were short of stuff to put on the telly.
Yeah.
And
They
it
still
kept
show
being,
like Emma Gray's one was on TV the other day.
They keep replaying it, and the teachers would say to the kids, be like, "Oh, we saw you on the telly." They'd be like, "Oh, no."
Yeah, because it's not cool, is it? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not cool seeing your mum and dad on TV when you're a teenager
No.
at school and.
Well, they did Izzy's school play, didn't they? It was like,
dear.
oh yeah,
At Christmas time.
Oh, that was in this farming life.
Singing.
Oh.
yeah.
Those
Bless her.
poor kids.
Yeah.
Those poor kids.
That's why she's gone south of the border for uni, isn't it?
That's right.
You're probably right though. It's probably even thinking of the sheep game. Like it probably is something like when the kids go to school, it could go to. It's like
Oh,
Definitely. Definitely.
I think
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
go two ways.
Well,
I think it'll
one
one way.
Especially because it's a sheep thing, and sheep is such an easy. You just get the old sheep shagger jokes. Like so, it might be tough for them, but we'll be fine. We'll take them to school on a big tractor by that time, maybe.
They're not likely to be Aberdeen supporters, so it'll be slightly easier.
Exactly, it's fine. It's fine. Although Lizzie is adamant she's homeschooling, and I'm behind her. Like the more I think about it, and the more I hear about what's happening in schools these days, the more I'm actually behind her, and I'm like, let's just do it.
As long as you socialise them.
Yeah.
We'll still do young farmers, still do rugby club or whatever sport they want to do.
Yeah.
And you do. The interesting thing is there's homeschool groups, so you still do all the trips and stuff that other schools, arguably you do more trips that normal schools do, but you just do it like all the homeschoolers come together.
You got to wonder whether it become more popular because our experience certainly in secondary school has been pretty mixed.
Yeah.
Really?
And there's Archie leaving school in 6th year. There's just nothing left from there. It's just a lot of his mates have gone. They've got apprenticeships, and we're finding up with us more kids are taking apprenticeships now, which is really exciting for them because they'll get 3-4 years and they'll be earning a good salary.
It's a way forward.
Yeah.
There's a big gap.
Yeah.
All my mates that I went to school with, the ones doing the best are ones that get a trade.
Yeah.
They work 4 days a week, make a fortune. They all make £12,500 a year, every year, never a penny more. and somehow they have a great life. It's amazing.
I think as long as kids make sure they go and get away if they can, travel a little bit, it's good for them. That's why we encourage our kids to go off and do things as much as we miss them, but we want them to get away and experience different life in a different part of the world.
Did he at any point identify as a cat? Did you manage to dodge that?
We dodged that.
Absolutely not.
Well done.
Not so keen on cats. We'll get some really good cat stories,
But not for on the air.
Is it one of those schools? Is there issues with that at that school? There's
Yes.
one in Ayrshire.
Yes.
Yeah. People identifying as.
It's just nonsense, isn't it?
I mean,
again, it's this
there's all about
extremes.
inclusivity and all that. I get it, but that is too far.
It's all about extremes as well. It's just, where's the sensible middle ground? Like, there needs to be boundaries. And, I always remember Mum saying that when I had the kids. Kids are like animals. They thrive on a routine. And if you know where your boundaries are and what you're doing, when you're doing, what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. But this asking kids, when they're 2 or 3 years old, what would you like to eat? Mm-hmm. What would you like to do today?
Yeah.
routine. Routine.
No, listen, it's a strange world we live in now. It's a sensitive subject. You've got to watch, always got to watch what you're saying and what you're doing. I suppose are people get offended is a big thing. But yeah, definitely the stories I hear from mainstream schools, even the point of that someone said they had to go into the school because part of their RE class they had to write down that eating meat was bad for the planet and all this stuff. Yeah. They had to write an essay on it or something, and they were just like, no chance. The parent was just like, no chance, and that just caused a big stushy. And then like the head teacher's just standing by it like it's true. It's like, oh my God. You mould your kids with your beliefs.
I know, but that's such a responsibility though. Is it not?
But it's your job as a parent.
Yeah.
Like I bet you want your kids to share the same beliefs as you guys. Like, hard work, manners, respect is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Same core beliefs. But you've got to let them have a bit of
They will never
range as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And actually they're not going, because they'll get to a certain age when mum and dad are not cool, no matter how close you keep them.
I think we're well past that stage.
I think you go through a phase though of that and then you come back to thinking they're cool
Yeah,
again.
hopefully you
Maybe,
instill
yeah.
those core values. Like we've got a big poster up on the wall in the kitchen. It's work hard and be nice to people, and that's kind of your basics. And
We'll get to that, John. I was going to ask you what you're like as a boss.
the first one's is easy to do, and the second one's maybe a bit harder, eh, John?
Hard to run a big business. It's hard to run a big business. Like, there's no two ways
I think
about it.
our management style probably has evolved over the years and is a bit more open now than it might have been. There's less Alex Ferguson hairdryer moments. And
Doesn't work these days so well.
No, in this society, yeah. And going back to giving people opportunity, young people opportunity, we're in a situation a couple of years ago, a couple of older employees moved on for different reasons. One emigrated, one a different challenge, and we had 2 placement students at the time, and we said, right, guys, just let them rip. Brilliant, absolutely. But 17 and 20, and they, it's much easier for now. Our style is, I suppose, a management team is to support a young team and be there for them and encourage them and let them loose. And
Is Kirsty still working there?
yeah. And I'm just thinking Kirsty there, and Kirsty's, a great job. She's taking responsibility.
What's her role? What does she do?
She's cattle and stock. So mainly cattle, but a bit of sheep as well, and just good. Trained her well down here. So,
Yeah, Kirsty. For anybody wondering who we're talking about Kirsty from Duncanema Angus. Very well respected. They do very well.
Yeah.
Kirsty Clark. Her name's shot out of my head there for a second. Yeah, Kirsty Clark from Duncanema. So yeah, she's been well brought up.
Yeah. No, she's great.
Her dad will love that. He listens to the podcast.
She's just what we want in a young
And
person.
her mum, of course.
That's just really proactive and will get things done and
Hardy.
see things.
She's hardy.
Hardy and see things and come up with solutions focused.
Yeah,
That's what we want.
And a team player,
Yeah.
and a good communicator. That's one of the big things. Being able to say what's going right and what's not going right, and to be able to, not just sit there quietly, just say actually,
Yeah, I never said she was particularly quiet.
And compassionate too. No, she likes the social side too. But she'll come and she'll ask me, "Are you okay?"
Uh-huh.
I think that's really, for me as a boss, I think having one of our team, or when our team do ask me, "Am I okay?" it's good. It does catch me out, and it makes me, well, am I? And actually, with Kirsty, I'm quite confident. Say, well, I'm having a shit week. I know James is going off, and I'm struggling a bit, and she knows that, and that's really cool that you've got team members out with family looking out for you, which is very important and for us, certainly as a team.
And I think sometimes it's easier when it is somebody that's a wee bit removed as well. Maybe it's easy. You're not maybe having to be the rock or the strong one.
Yeah. And I think I've certainly struggled with that in the past and feeling a bit isolated, that I had the weight of everyone else to look after or to look out for. And Fiona's obviously got my back and is looking after me, but that's something as you don't have to be on your own to feel alone. And I think linking it to the work we're doing with FarmStrong, it's really important that we look at what we can do to look after ourselves on a daily basis. And I've heard you talk about it, Iona, that those things you do every day just to help yourself. And for you and for Cammy, for Fiona and myself, it's different for each of us. What we do. So you find out what works for you in Kiwi terms, and you lock it in.
Most foragers don't supply sheep and cattle with enough cobalt, copper, iodine and selenium, critical to digestion, immunity, reproduction and growth. When it comes to supplementation, there's a danger of under or oversupply. But when bolusing with Animax Tracesure, you can be sure every animal has enough for up to 6 months in one single application. Animax, giving what it takes.
I think the FarmStrong and let's talk about the FarmStrong for sure, because I just think it's a great message. It's a great message. It's one I've always been a big believer. Like for me, it's like exercise. Like exercise is just, and I think actually for a lot of people, if they got into it, they would realise not just the health benefits, but just the chemicals it must release in your brain. Yeah. Like when I get just since my hernia operation, about 2 or 3 runs since it. I mean, the last year's been hellish. Like. I wouldn't say, it definitely weighed heavy on my head because I just couldn't do anything. That I spent years feeling invincible, and all of a sudden I've got this hernia pushing it all the time. I couldn't go a run, I couldn't lift anything. Like even just working normally was causing pain, and you just couldn't do things, and it was hard on the head for sure it was. So you just made me go out a wee run, and okay, I am up to 94 kilos. I know it's all relative, John. But I'm up to 94 kilos, like, fighting weight for me is probably about 85. So, like, I can feel in my knees and my legs, I'm the heaviest I've ever been. And I can feel it when I'm running. But see, just the fresh air and just getting the heart rate up and getting the lungs going, it feels amazing. Yeah. It feels amazing. Like, it's so good.
It should be maybe do a wee bit on what FarmStrong is, just for people who don't know.
FarmStrong's a wellbeing programme that, to go right the way back, a guy called Doug Avery came over from New Zealand to talk about his challenge with mental health years ago. We got him across, myself and Nina Clancy, who was with RSABI at the time, and Alan Laidlaw, who was with RAS at the time. Got him across, and we did a tour. We thought we might get 1,000 people to come and listen to his The Resilient Farmer. He'd written a book, and people thought they were coming to hear about, or some did, challenges with weather. And we thought, if we get 1,000, it'd be great, over 14 venues. We had over 2,000 came. And it was really good. He really engaged. He talked about his challenges with mental health and finding the crop lucerne, which actually made him think differently about farming, and that helped the whole process. And on the last day, he said, we asked him, well, what can we do now? And he said, have a look at FarmStrong in New Zealand. And we did. And we started getting in touch with the guys over there. Gerard Vaughan, who's the programme director, came over and talked to us about it. And it's very much about well-being, which is something everybody's got. We can all improve our own well-being. And it's peer-to-peer learning through storytelling, and they came across, talked to us about it, and we got set up. We're actually now, FarmStrong Scotland is a registered charity now. We're a SKIO, and we've got our team in place, Alex, Claire and Anna, and we're getting out there and just mirroring what they've done in New Zealand, in Scotland, and it's great. It's really positive. We've got podcasts on the go, as you know, Iona.
Shout out Iona's on the FarmStrong podcast. Check it out. It'll probably be out how far behind you run. Cora was on it as well. Cora Cooper was on it.
Yeah, Cora's about to come out, I think, any day.
I listened to them all on the way up the road as well. Actually, I said it was all politics ones, but I did listen to it. Well, I say I listened to them all. I think I listened to 4 of them there wasn't that many. There's only about 5 or 6.
There's not many.
Yours, Michael's, I can't remember who else I caught now, but yeah.
Just getting involved and meetings and things, industry events that are going on, just encouraging people to think about looking after any farmer croft's number one asset, which is themselves, and what you need to do on a daily basis. And it can be these little things like, going for a walk first thing in the morning, stopping at the end of the day and writing down your thoughts of the day. Just wee things. But go online, have a look at what we're doing there. There's a newsletter people can sign up to, and we'll be, as we go forward, the more people getting involved and sharing their stories. And I think, for me, sharing my story and how I feel from time to time and how I deal with that has been really, really positive for me. It's not something I would have felt comfortable doing a couple of years ago, but through my involvement with FarmStrong, it's given me the confidence to do that. And it's okay to feel down now and again. That's a lot of people do, but it's what you do to help yourself not to feel down, or not as down as often. You think about a scale from -5 to +5, and where your bandwidth is on that scale. Mine would sit from -2 to probably +3, and it's just shifting that. And I have been shifting that up the way a little bit. I'm probably -1 to 4. I dip sometimes. I know I'm going to dip sometimes. Christmas time is the time of year when I always dip. But
many people do.
But I know come January I'm away again. It's keeping that exercise up. We talked about exercise a minute ago, Cammy. For me, it's swimming. It's going to weights. But it's giving as well. It's giving time to an organisation like FarmStrong throughout my life. Giving time to the rugby club. Maybe didn't give much as a player, but I certainly gave much in the administrative side of things. Getting involved with the local club.
I'm sure your competitive edge was very useful on the pitch. I could sense it.
Yeah, it was. I did.
Sometimes hard work is enough to beat talent.
Yeah. I was just thinking about hard work. Yeah, I think my players I coach now think I'm probably hard work at times, but I still enjoy that salary, that competitive edge, that being involved in a team environment.
Yeah.
You see when the hands go in the huddle and we shout Ross on 3. That's just brilliant. At the end of training, because our under 18 squad I'm with train with the seniors, and with hands in at the end of the training on Tuesday and Thursdays. It's great crack.
For me, there's just no buzz like sport, like competing, and it can be anything. When we were in America, there's this game called cornholing, and it's like 2 plywood sheets you put across from each other, and there's just a hole in them, and they're slightly angled, and it's just you hold wee sandbags. Well, they're meant to be corn bags, I suppose. I don't know, bags of corn, and you've got to throw them in the hole, and it's like in a point system. And me and Alan Blackwood get into this, and all the Americans that are really good at it, and we were playing it by the end of the night. We're playing it with the headlights of the pickup, because I'm like, no, let's, I was so into it. My blood was up. I'm like, this is brilliant. A few beers, just in this random, but it's just competitive. It could be anything. It could be seeing who could slide a coin in the end of this table, and my blood would be up. I'm like, right, let's do this. It's great. And sport and all that comes, even watching it. Well, actually, no, that's probably quite depressing being Scottish. Better not to watch too much sport. We had a good go against Australia at the weekend.
We had a really good go. I was there. It was good. Are
we going to win the Six Nations?
No.
Okay. Who's going to win
it? We're going to give a right good go. Ireland are probably going to win it.
I think you'll just say no, because that if you say yes, we won't. Yeah.
Yep.
I think deep down there's that wee hope that we all have.
There's no reason why we can't win it.
Someone told me say a great thing to me one time when I was talking rugby with them. They said Scotland can beat anybody, but they can't beat everybody, and that is our problem. On our day we can beat anybody, but we just can't do it all the time when we need to.
Can't keep up our momentum.
We just can't. We're just not that island, that consistent, or South Africa as it is now, that they just do it.
But the game against South Africa is as physical a game as I've ever seen Scotland bring to the pitch. And if we can do that, we can match them. We need to watch out for England. They're pretty handy. I think we've got a right good go at the Six Nations. I also think we'll give New Zealand the fright in November.
Oh, a New Zealand win is coming. It is absolutely. It's been on the cut. We've had a couple of I used to be a big New Zealand fan. Right, might upset some folk here. I used to like the All Blacks. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you for why. All right, tell you for why. It was. You were probably at this game, New Zealand Scotland. Now, what's the details? We're right under the posts, and I want to say it was Johnny or Richie Gray, picked and went for the try, but there was a fumble, and then he picked again and got the try, and it looked from the stand like he'd knocked on, and you're like, that would have won us the game, and you're like, oh my god, how could you drop it there? Blah blah. Go home and watch the replays. Richie McCaw, the legend that he is, at the breakdown and does what Richie McCaw does, and he just slaps it out his hand as he goes, which is of course a yellow card offence, penalty try, but for whatever reason this was years ago. To be fair, maybe VAR wasn't so tight as it was, and they just took it as a knock on. I've never forgave them.
And he could have been doing that in the blue shirt. His grandparents were from the Black Isle.
Richie McCaw's were. There you go. If only. I
Grandparents
think he did the right thing to him in New Zealand.
Grandparents. Yeah, he was.
And that is why just ever since the shine has went right off New Zealand, because that is the closest we've ever been to beating them.
How would you have felt if it was the other way round?
I'd have said, great move. That's why I'm saying he's a legend. Like, he's like it's what you want your player to do. Like, absolutely great move. Take one for the team. Go for it. But yeah, as the Scotland fan, I just thought, I'll never go for that one, because it's been a long time coming.
I can still remember where I was sitting when in that World Cup when we got beaten by Australia.
I've never got over that either.
I cried.
Franz Joubert.
Yeah.
It was the Usher man that put us in front. Big Bennett down the middle put us in front. I was at home. I'd went to all the pool games, but only the pool package. Couldn't get a ticket because it was in England. It was only down the road, and I couldn't get a ticket for the quarters. Watching it at home, and oh my God, the shouting, amazing. We're talking about Australia versus Scotland in the 2011 World Cup, and 2015 World Cup in England. We have the lead. There's 80 seconds on the clock or something silly. We get a line out. The game's won.
Yeah.
Pissing a rain. That's how I remember it so vividly. Pissing a rain, and yes, blame the ref, but also we throw to the back of the line out while it's pissing a rain, and we have the lead. It's a catch and drive all day long. Catch it two and drive all day long,
and then kick the ball out,
and hold it in the maul or the ruck and kick it out. We throw it to the back. It's a flap in the mess. There is an Australia knock on, but from the next movement of play, they get a penalty. But they said at that time the rules were you couldn't go back and check the knock on the VAR. But the Scotland players were all telling them it was a knock on. Everybody could see, obviously we get to see the replays, it's an obvious knock on. Australia get the penalty, kick for the win. And then at the end, the referee ran off the pitch.
He did.
Blew the full-time whistle and ran off the pitch.
He knew.
Because he knew it was so, and do you know what really upset me about that one? Now you've got me going. Is that it was Argentina. Sorry if I get my blood up about this too.
It was on.
I've still not got over it, as you can tell. It was Argentina in the semi-final, and Argentina were spent. Argentina were absolutely spent. Australia ran right over the top of them. We would have beat them.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure of it. We would have beat them, and then it would have been us getting pumped in the final by New Zealand.
But we would have been the final.
We'd have got absolutely hammered. We'd have got absolutely hammered, but we'd have been a World Cup final in England. It would have been amazing. It would have been amazing. Anyway, we have been third before, weren't we? You'll remember that. I don't remember that with Hastings, was it? Is that 91?
Yeah.
91, we were third. You'll remember us winning the Five Nations, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
See, that's I was born in 1990, so 99 was it? They won the Five Nations. So I'd been 9 years old.
No, was it 99?
Was it 99?
1990 Grand.
Was it 90?
90 Grand Slam, wasn't it?
90. They won
David Soul and
so
headband.
Yeah, I was born the year I was born.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit rugby chat for us. We get passionate. Now we have. Is there anything else we'd like to talk? We have a quiz that we need to do. Now we do it. One of us has to do it.
You could have given me those earlier.
Can we not do it together?
We did it. I feel bad now because we did. Poor Becca Rennie here. Did it. Bob and Becca, they're Cheviot breeders from Attenburn, and we made them split up to do it.
I know. I think we have to.
All right.
Do you want to toss a coin or do you want to choose?
Toss a coin.
We maybe should have had a couples leaderboard in hindsight.
What do you want to do?
I'm not worried.
Messy.
You choose.
I think we toss a coin. Right. Who's heads, who's tails?
Heads.
Your head's okay. Right, here we go. Can I catch it?
That means heads you choose or heads you do it.
Heads, you do it.
Heads you do it, and it is
Heads.
Fiona, here we go. Fiona, can I ask first of all, not that it matters, did you go to private school?
Hell no. Neither of us did.
No, just checking. Some of us in this room did. Some of us did.
Is that a problem?
Eh?
Is that a problem?
No, it's fine. I just wind up. No, it's fine. You're so well spoken. Sometimes I think it's a sign, but no, you're just obviously just a good upbringing.
I nearly did. but I didn't.
Did you not? An interesting thing, you would where you are up in Tain up Fernway there, would you be historically Gaelic speaking?
No.
So you were never Gaelic speaking?
No, but a lot of the sort of...
So why do you speak so... Why don't you have any sort of Scots...
Best English
influence?
is spoken in Inverness.
But I thought the reason for that was the fact that was a Gaelic speaking city and they get English teachers.
Gaelic's more the west.
So Inverness wouldn't have been a Gaelic speaking city. It must have
Eh,
been.
no,
Must be.
it would have been.
At some
It would have
stage.
been.
But I thought the story of their English is so good is because after Culloden, all the English, it was banned obviously, and then English teachers were sent up, so they learned English from the English.
Maybe.
Have you been reading the was it the Bookseller of Inverness?
No, I haven't. No, but does that
New-
cover
new,
that
new book just now? It's just out. It's a local
about what Highland clearances and
It's after the Jacobite Rebellion. I don't know. I'm just a wee bit into it.
yeah.
It's good.
You know, and anyone that's wondering what I talk about Culloden or that, if you're in America, well, it's popular here as well. Outlander,
Oh yeah.
only
Yeah.
the first season though. I watched it to the point where they go to the Caribbean or something through some sort of portal, and I was like, man, this is.
It was America, wasn't it? They were
Is that America they went? Aye, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's getting a bit far-fetched now. Not that it wasn't far-fetched in the first place,
Well,
time travel,
indeed.
but it was good. It was a good bit of history, fictional history. Okay, so we're going to do this.
Yeah. 2 minutes on the clock.
Have you seen the questions? What they're like?
2 minutes on the clock.
Can
You're
you read
allowed
them?
to
Do you need my
pass.
glasses?
You're allowed to pass. And it's how many you can get. in
You
2
can do
minutes.
this, dear. You got it.
Can.
Hang on. Right, drop that number on that one, because see that one? Give me a pen,
Why?
because that's confusing.
I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, you can.
It's fair.
It's wrong. Well, it isn't wrong, but it
It
is wrong.
isn't?
It is wrong because it is wrong, and I'll explain why after. Okay,
Okay.
just trust me. And do you know how to say that word? Okay. Sorry, private school. What we're talking about. Okay, and we are going to start in 3,
Actually, no.
2. It'll be.
No, you made me question myself. Is it not just how it sounds?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, it is. Okay.
but
You made me overthink
No, but I
it.
think I'm just worried you get to it in panic. Just say it
Okay,
as it
right.
sounds.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay,
Okay.
right. Okay.
Are you
We're
sure?
fine.
Are you sure?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'd be amazed if you didn't get that one anyway. But anyway, here we go. Right. Okay. Let's go. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Which pair of British children's TV show presenters hosted their In the Bungalow show?
Ant and Dec.
Dick and Dom. The 1415 Battle of Agincourt took place in which country?
France.
Yes. Artist Joseph Mallard William Turner gives his name to which annual art prize?
Turner Prize.
Yes. Oh, Tegucigalpa. Add on time for this. Tegucigalpa is the capital city of which Central American country? Tegucigalpa.
Pass.
Honduras. Which Conservative MP for Tatton served as Chancellor of the Exchequer between 2010 and 2016? Conservative MP for Tatton.
Oh, pass.
George Osborne. Which US American car company uses the slogan to accelerate the advent of sustainable transport? Sustainable transport. Car.
The rechargeable one.
Yeah.
Tesla.
Yes. Yes. Composer Johann Sebastian Bach was born in which European country? Bach.
Austria.
Germany. Which US musician played Napster found Sean Parker in the film The Social Network?
Pass.
Justin Timberlake. Williams, Bosc and Comise are varieties of which fruit?
Pears.
Yes.
Yeah, this one. Read this one.
You told me not to.
No, I didn't. I just couldn't
Telephone
remember it.
numbers beginning 0141 are most commonly associated with which Scottish city?
Glasgow.
Yes. On UK roads, the national speed limit applies sign is a white circle with a diagonal stripe. Which colour is the stripe?
Red.
Black. Which newsreader won the first series of Strictly Come Dancing? Natasha Koplinski or Victoria Derbyshire?
Natasha Kaplinski.
Yes.
Time.
Did you
6.
give a wee bit of time for me not being able to read that
I
out?
did give a wee
Yeah,
bit of
okay,
time.
right.
6. Solid. You beat our NFU president.
I'm with Martin.
You beat our NFU. Well, you tied with our NFU president, Martin Kennedy there. And let me explain.
Sorry, I didn't realise I thought you were telling me not to read it out.
So the bit we were talking about before, I was scrolling like they had what telephone numbers beginning with 01418, which throws you off totally because and the reason I'm scrolling that out because it's not technically wrong, but a lot of area codes have 5 digits. So whoever's done this quiz has taken the first 5, but actually big cities generally only have 4 digits.
4,
yeah.
So it throws the whole question off.
I thought you were taking out that question completely.
No, it's just there. So that's why I did that. Just in case there's any cheating involved.
How did I not get George Osborne?
Honestly, I so wanted to say we've already mentioned him in this podcast. Apart from that, I don't think there's any. I wouldn't have got the Turner Prize. I wouldn't have got France.
That Bach one could have been. It's Germany or France.
Yeah. I'd have got. You got Tesla.
I would have got Dick and Dom.
I wouldn't have got Pears. I wouldn't have got Dick and Dom. I don't think I'd
Did you get that brain? Like you got.
Oh, I know.
See, to be honest, I think I'd have got 1. Yeah. Oh, George Osborne in Tesla. So I'd get 3. I'd have got 3. So actually, you did well.
I think there might be 4 or 5.
Those were hard questions.
They were.
Questions. Good work. Okay, so you're up there at 6. It's tough. We made it tough quiz. Sometimes I wonder if it's too tough, but I think it's better that way.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. What do you think? No.
Joe
Yeah,
Wilson,
definitely
fair
got to keep
play.
it tough now.
Yeah, I mean he was he did well. I don't know if you heard his quiz. He did.
Yeah, he was on it.
Yeah,
and he was on. He was passing quickly if he had to pass.
Yeah.
He was.
I think that's it. Don't waste the time, just pass.
But then it's a balance because like it was worth wasting the time on the Tesla answer.
Because then you get
Because
it, yeah.
a point is a big thing in this quiz, so it is worth the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, fantastic guys, great to have you. Anything else you want to add? Obviously, FarmStrong Scotland. Do you take the people back it and sponsor it, or how does it work?
You can get involved. Just go online and have a look at how you can get involved. And there'll be more opportunities coming up to get involved. Not necessarily just. Obviously, we need to raise money, but we want people out there in the communities, just spreading the word and helping people, understand what FarmStrong does. So, please get in touch with the team and keep an eye on the socials. There'll be more coming. We're going to go on tour in the new year, so there'll be a chance to get involved there. And just getting involved from organising a group of farmers together to have a cup of tea or a bacon roll, or go and do something different. And that if you've got an idea that you want to bring to us that would involve farmers and crofters getting together, please get in touch. The team would love to hear from you.
Good on you. Well,
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Thanks to both of you for coming in. It's been a delight.
Thanks for having us. Cheers.
And we're back in the room. How was that for you, Iona?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
tough,
really
tough
enjoyed
question.
it.
The questions, we use the same question body, right, from the start, but they're obviously numbered as they go. And I think the people doing the questions have made them harder. They're definitely harder.
Do you think?
They are harder. Look at
Okay.
the last few. Like they're all, we're down 4s, 5s, 6s. It's getting tougher.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. As I said before, I do think Neil. I think Neil and Graham are very, very good. But the questions have got harder.
Yeah.
I am saying that.
Okay.
So we have to factor that in when we're thinking. I think next year we get. Do you know what questions I like? I like the chase questions.
Yeah.
Do you think we could just buy like a chase board game and then you have the cards and you just use the chase
But
questions?
we can't change it now.
No, we can't now, but we need to reset it at some point.
Okay, yeah.
Just for anybody wondering, my plan is to do a live podcast in the new year. I meant to have it organised so we could do the tickets for Christmas gifts, but that's not been organised. But the plan is to have a live podcast next year. I was thinking about kind of February time, March. Well, we're lambing in March, so maybe February time. Just something for the winter when it's a bit miserable folk to
something
go and
to
do. And we have a big guest in. I've got a very good guest lined up who's on board with it.
Yep.
Big guest in, and then we have the Fed by Farmers quiz final, and then we reset it after that.
Okay, yeah. So who would be in the final at the moment?
Well, I was thinking top 4, but I'm open to suggestions on that. Guys listening, do leave comments how you think the format should be. I was thinking top 4, or top 3, no, top 4. I was hoping, I mean, you think I'm being joking here. I'm hoping I get dropped out of that. So before that comes, and we do top 4. And we do, the way it is just now, maybe because I'm third, we make it top 2.
Yeah, okay.
And you have a head-to-head on the stage, the Fed by Farmers Quiz Champion of the Year, get a trophy.
Yeah, I like it.
Bit of fun.
Yeah, that is fun. I like it.
So yeah, let us know what format you think that could take, guys. I wonder if you could do it like mastermind kind of thing, where you have 2 rounds of questions. And you could potentially have a specialist subject. Each person gets a specialist subject.
No, I don't think you do that.
No?
Oh, maybe.
Would you know what mastermind what's?
Yeah, no, but I just don't agree with mastermind.
Okay.
Because I think some people specialist subject, they make it so niche, and then others don't, and I just don't see how that's fair.
Yes, but I must admit, listening to the questions, I always think they're hard.
Yeah, so do I.
To be fair, I never go, oh, that's quite an easy subject.
No,
and then
yeah.
And then they start asking the questions and be like, oh, you know, it's always hard.
Yeah.
You know, if they do like
hard.
still game, I think I know everything about still game, but then I listened to like Off the Ball or something, had someone on, Amy McDonald, like still game, the singer.
There, yeah.
So they're asking her some questions about it, and even I was like, oh, I don't know the answer
Really?
to that. Yeah, and it's like that
Tricky.
in mastermind, it's really hard. But then the problem would be, if we know nothing about the subjects,
Yeah, it's going to be so hard.
but you can always find a specialist in that field to do the questions.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
But then how's it balanced? Because it's different people.
I know.
We're riffing
I
here
know,
as we
I
go,
know.
folks.
We'll sort out
suss
the
it
details.
I think probably patch that idea and just do general knowledge.
Yeah, me too.
Farming based.
No, I don't
2
think.
rounds.
It's not fair doing farming
Oh,
days.
it is. It's the Fed
No,
by
it's not.
Farmers final. It absolutely is fair. We do 2 rounds. That's what we do. No specialist ones. 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
First round is farming questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they get 90 seconds each. Second round is general knowledge.
Okay.
90 seconds each. And it's your total score as the winner.
Okay, gosh, I'm nervous just thinking about it.
Be good that though.
Yeah,
That's
that would
That's
be
you want
good.
the crowd
Yeah.
intense. Like, all right. So like, as Graham and Neil just now, you say, all right, Graham's got the lead by 1 going into the general knowledge
Knowledge
questions.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Fun.
Yeah. It's good because I don't think Graham knows that much about sheep either.
Okay.
So yeah.
Perfect.
Interesting. Anyway, oh my God, I forgot. I've got a shout out to do. Thanks for listening this long. Shout out to Russell Cardwell. Russell,
Yeah.
we know you're a big fan, and you recently had a dodgy ticker, which
Mm-hmm.
must be fixed now, or else Jennifer wouldn't have asked us to do this shout out. Real awkward if they hadn't fixed it properly.
Yeah, no, they have.
Yeah, they have fixed it.
Yeah.
Back on the go. Good man. Just keep off the energy drinks or all
Yeah,
these.
bad.
Anything
Red
that
Bull.
Yeah, anything that gets a ticker going.
Yep.
That's my medical advice for the week. Anyway, shout out to you, Russell, mate. Thanks for listening. I've been Cammy,
I've been Iona.
and we are all
Fed by farmers.